All right, Coach is here. We'll get rolling on today's post-game press conference from NIU football's game at Eastern Michigan. We'll start with Coach Hammock's opening statement, and then we'll take questions from the assembled media. If you have a question, be sure to raise your hand or type raise hand in the chat. We'll get to you. So without further ado, Coach, your opening statement on today's game.
Yeah, obviously the end result is disappointing, but appreciate the fight of our young men to keep fighting for 4 quarters. We had a chance with the ball at the end. We didn't make enough plays early enough in the game to keep it closer than what it was. But certainly we can learn from this. I think for us, there's going to be a critical offseason as far as the physical nature and the mental nature. And I think that our young men, having played 6 games, should really be able to make a tremendous jump from this season to next.
All right. Questions for Coach Hammock. Again, if you have one, be sure to raise your hand, type raise hand in the chat, and we will get to you. And we'll start with Eddie Crifio from the DeKalb Daily Chronicle. Eddie, you're unmuted.
I mean, take me through just kind of the change, if you saw any in the team after you got that safety. It seems like all of a sudden there was I got a sense of urgency or something. Did you see something shift kind of late after that safety?
Well, I mean, you get the safety, and then now there's a 15-point game. So now you say, if you have an opportunity to go down and score, you kick an onside kick and go for 2. Now you got a chance to go to overtime. So, I certainly think that helped. Our team, but we got to be able to make plays early in the game. That first drive of the second half, we driving down the field, and then we turn the ball over, and they score 7 points. Those are the things that we've been better at the last couple of weeks that we got to continue to work on.
Yeah, I was going to bring up because again, that was a turnover for a score, which, like you said, had been there earlier in the year. Just how are you guys feeling coming out at halftime, and what did that play? What kind of effect did that have?
Yeah, I mean, we felt good. I mean, I thought we was going to have the ability to run the football, and we ran the football, a couple times to get it down across midfield. You throw it easy, 5-yard out on 3rd and 5. We convert it, and then you fumble. I mean, that just can't happen. And those are the type of things that we've avoided the last couple of weeks, and it showed up in a bad situation there.
Then Harrison, it's back-to-back, I think, 100-yard games for him. I know you said you saw something click a couple of weeks ago in practice. What did you see out of him today and this week that, glad to see it continue for him? Yeah, I think, hopefully this is a launching point for him. I thought a couple of weeks ago in practice it really started to turn. He ended the season with 200-yard games. I think that the future is extremely bright for him. Ducker will be back in January, and let those 2 guys compete. And we got some guys coming in. So, I think the backfield is going to be very, very dangerous. And then you add Dustin Fletcher's ability to run the ball. And I think now, we can have an offense that we can at least feel like we can be dominant running the ball. And that opens up a lot of other things. How do you guys kind of balance the 0-6, the winless record, with the bright spots and the positives that you saw out of the young guys this year?
Well, to me, I think, a lot of guys got experience. As you look at it, we're going to have 11 starters back on defense, and 6 of them are still going to be true freshmen. So to me, what a great positive. You're going to look at our roster next year, and it's going to have 6 or 7 true freshman starters on defense, but they already got 6 games under their belt. So, to me, it's just a launching point. We need to have a great offseason. We got to get a lot stronger, a lot bigger to catch up to some of these teams that's got a bunch of juniors and seniors on their team. And we look forward to attacking the offseason.
Overall, how do you characterize how the season went for you guys?
Well, I'm just happy we had the opportunity to play. I mean, just from a mental health standpoint, I think it was necessary. It was needed. And, we went out there and we got better. as the season went along. I don't look at the record as the end result. You look at the process of where we started, where we're going, and where we're headed. And I think the arrow is certainly pointing in the right direction.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
All right, Brandon Suarez, Huskies on tap.
Hey, Coach, late in the game, we saw Harrison Whaley go down. I know, obviously, with the end of the season, next week won't be too much of a factor, but was it a serious injury or just kind of a small hiccup for today?
No, he good. He just going to have to do some icing over Christmas break. He ain't able to go dancing like he probably want to. So, he'll be home enjoying his family time and icing his ankle, but it's not a big deal at all.
And then obviously we know you're a very busy recruiter. With the way that you saw the freshmen, attack this season, the class of 2021 that you have coming in, is there anything that you feel you need to attack in this offseason recruiting just for next season?
Yeah, I think it was a couple things that we looked at that, we needed to make sure we added depth at the linebacker position. We need to add more corners. I think with the amount of teams that try to spread you out, we got to have corners that can be physical and tackle. And then we had to add, more offensive playmakers. And I think we were able to accomplish those things. And hopefully, everybody signs on Wednesday, and then I can sleep a little bit better.
And then with what we saw from Dustin Fletcher this year, I know we saw a lot of him in run fits. How comfortable are you with Dustin Fletcher in the passing game? Is he, a polished passer? I know most of the fits we've seen have been read options and running plays. How good of a passer is he?
Well, the problem with Dustin is he had off-season wrist surgery. And so we knew he was, coming back from that about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago. He really started to throw the ball a lot better. So we feel very, very confident with him being able to command the offense and be able to bring a run element as well as throwing the ball down the field. But it took some time. We got him through spring a little bit, and then we had surgery later than we wanted to. But about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, he really started to feel better. But this is going to be a critical offseason for him to go home and train and come back and be a leader on our team.
And then one last question. Towards the end of the game, I believe the last 8 seconds, was there 2 plays called, or was the last play, where Tyrese Ritchie ended up running out of bounds, thinking there was 1 second left, the last play call that you had for the game?
No, it was supposed to be a playground play where you pitch and you lateral. Because of the time, we wasn't going to be able to stop the clock. So we wanted to give ourselves every opportunity, and we didn't quite execute it the way we wanted to.
All right, James Krause, Northern Star.
Coach, I know on that last drive, you guys were moving quite a bit, and then Richie had the unsportsmanlike call that pushed you guys back and lost you a little bit of time. Have you talked to Richie about that? Because when what it looked like on TV was sort of a ticky-tackier call, and maybe
yeah, I mean the kid flopped. I mean, it's amazing they were able to call every call on us. But yeah, let me stop before I say something I regret.
That's fair enough. From the beginning of the year, from the Buffalo game to this game, what is the biggest improvement you've seen from this team? Because obviously you mentioned this not just being measured in wins and losses. What's the biggest improvement you've seen this year?
Well, to me, I think it's the growth of our freshmen. I think, every week they've continued to get better. Now, we still got a ways to go, but, they should have confidence going into the offseason that they've been able to compete, in the MAC, and then use that as a launch point for their development, both mentally and physically, to say, if I just come back and I'm stronger and I'm faster and I learn the playbook better, then I should be an all-MAC type player moving forward.
What's the biggest thing? I know you mentioned recruiting coming up. What's the biggest thing you're going to work with these guys over the summer with?
Over the winter?
Over the winter as well.
Yeah, we need to get bigger and stronger as a football team. I mean, I think that's evident, from our tackling ability. When people hit us, they hit us with force. And then, when we hit them, they get 2 or 3 more yards at a time. So, and I think part of that is youth. I mean, we got guys out there 185 pounds, 188 pounds that need to be 200 pounds. So, we got a great offseason program scheduled. where we're going to be able to give them the nutrition, the muscle milk and the shakes and everything else, where we can put the type of weight on them that they need to be able to go hit people with force and create turnovers. Because, I mean, you know, last week you see Dustin Fletcher get hit. That kid hit him with force and the ball came out. So that's what we want to be able to do, be able to be a relentless defense that knock people back when we tackle.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Any other questions for Coach? All right. Thank you, Coach Hammock.
Thank you.
Just a reminder, this is being recorded. We'll have the video on the NIU Athletics YouTube channel later on today or tonight. And if you want the MP3, go ahead and email Mike Hasse. He can send it on to you once we're all done. Joined now by Kyle Pugh. Hello, Kyle.
How are you?
Doing all right. If you have questions for Kyle Pugh, linebacker, go ahead and raise your hand, put it in the chat, and we'll start with James Krause from the Northern Star.
Kyle, Coach Hammock just talked about how he thinks he's going to have 11 starters coming back next year, and that obviously plays into the question. Have you made sort of any decision yet on if you plan on returning next year? I know you get the extra year of eligibility, but have you made a decision yet, or are you still going to think about this?
Yeah, I made my decision. I'll be back next year. You know, I still got a lot of things that I want to prove to myself, so I'm not really ready to hang it up yet.
About the game today, what were some of the things that EMU was bringing you guys in the first half that you guys were really able to close up with in the second half, because they weren't able to do much offensively, at least in the fourth quarter?
I think it was the same team that came out in the second half. I think we just, you know, kind of made up in our minds that what we allowed in the first half wasn't going to happen in the second. And I think that's what needed to happen to give ourselves a chance at the end.
All right. Thank you, Kyle.
Brandon Suarez from Huskies on Tap.
Hey, Kyle, as you know, one of the veteran leaders on this defense, someone that you, like you just said, will be coming back next season. What are some of the things that you feel the defense needs to work on in this offseason to get back to being a top unit in the MAC?
I think we need to develop our mindset. You know, I think we need to transition from, you know, trying to hang on at the end, you know, and try to be around, keep the score close, to actually like developing a killer mindset. You know, understanding that they have to score on us. You know, we have to have a killer mindset in the fact that, you know, we line up and they have to score on us. You know what I'm saying? So I think we could develop in that area.
And then obviously, you know, with you coming back for a year that, you know, with the quarantine and COVID, nobody thought that this football season would happen. You're going to get granted an extra year of eligibility. How grateful are you to have that opportunity to come back out and suit up for another season?
I'm extremely grateful. You know, knowing my story, I had to sit out and watch a lot of football. You know, so giving me an extra opportunity to come back and play, you know, it just, you know, I couldn't really ask for more.
Thanks, Kyle.
Eddie Crifio, Daily Chronicle.
Hey, Kyle, just overall, how do you say the defense did today? It looked like kind of struggling in the first half, giving up a lot of yardage, a lot of points. Maybe kind of settled down in the second half. How did you see things go?
I think this is exactly right. I think, you know, we kind of settled and, you know, got our confidence. It was a slow build, you know, but once we start making a couple plays, things start rolling for us.
Overall, how would you say the year went for you guys?
I think it was necessary. I think it was a necessary year. Humbled a lot of us. It helped us develop as leaders. And I mean, like Coach said, you definitely want to be able to win games, but at the same time, you do understand that we were very young this year, and we're bringing back everybody, you know, so it just leaves me very hopeful for the future.
Okay, thanks, Kyle.
All right. Thank you, Kyle. Joined now by tight end Daniel Crawford. Hello, Daniel.
How you doing?
Doing all right. So we'll start here with Brendan Suarez from Huskies Untapped.
Great game out there today, Daniel. First and foremost, obviously, we asked Kyle already. Do you think, with the performance that you had today and everything up in the air, have you made a decision on next season, or will that be something coming in the next few months?
It'll still be coming in a few months, but as of right now, I think my decision has been to just take the time and speak to my family, but I'm leaning more towards not coming back. So that's my decision right now, but it's still a lot of time, and I haven't even been home yet because of COVID and stuff like that. So I have to talk to my family and see where we want to go with that. And I love this team, so I'm not sure yet.
Absolutely fair. And then with today's game, obviously, we spotted them 10 points at the beginning of the game, but how do you feel this team rallied? I know we didn't come out with the win, but how do you feel they kind of played and never had that never give up mentality today?
They had a never give up mentality for sure. And I think that's just coming from building the habits all year. If you look at every game, we never gave up, and that's just who we are as a team, and that's who we will continue to be. So once we start to stack plays and stack drives and stack special teams plays and things like that, we should be fine. They have a very good heart.
And then as someone who has played on a MAC championship team here at NIU, what do you think this team needs the most in order to move towards that direction?
Honestly, I just think they need a little bit more experience. If you remember, I tore my ACL that season we won the MAC championship. So I didn't really contribute at all other than being on the sideline and being around. And what I've witnessed is pretty much the same thing. They have the same heart, they have the same drive, they have the same work ethic and toughness. But we were a very experienced MAC team that year when we won. And I am 100% sure we can get back to that. They just need more games to play.
Thanks, Daniel.
Eddie Crifio, Daily Chronicle.
Hey, Daniel, just on that, on that last drive, how are you guys feeling, down 8, with a chance to potentially tie the game there?
We're thinking we're down 8. We're about to go, tie it up, go to overtime and win. We was confident, ready to go. Every play we had, it was there, and we just have to execute.
Just overall, how would you say the offense did today?
Overall, I think the offense was streaky, if I could put it in a word. They were very streaky. There were some drives where we put together things, and we had some plays where we had to come back and do it all over again. So with the whole year, it's just been the same story, beating ourselves up. We had a strip fumble for 6. That just can't happen. Can't win games doing it.
Excuse me. Overall, how would you say the season went, going winless, but balancing that with, the obvious youth of this team? How would you characterize the season as having gone?
Honestly, I think I characterize it as a stepping stone. I try to just take the positives out of everything. I've never been winless in my life, and I honestly still don't think I'm winless because I've learned a lot from this season, and we've had some personal wins too. So I don't think they're too focused on what the record says. They just want to win, and they're going to get a win, and they're going to keep doing the things that they have been doing. Because as you can see, we're in every game. We just have to finish.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
And James Krause, Northern Star.
Daniel, for most of the time you've been here, especially the last 2 years, a lot of people have looked at you as someone who's sort of led the younger guys. From the younger group, who do you see emerging as sort of future Daniel Crawfords, as being guys who are going to lead this program moving forward?
Devin Lafayette and David Rayner. That's on the defensive side. On the offensive side, I think Logan Schernitz and Trayvon Rudolph.
All right, thanks.
No problem.
All right, any other questions for Daniel while he's still here? All right, thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, guys.
And that will conclude this afternoon's press conference. Again, it will be posted on NIU Athletics YouTube later on today. And if you want the MP3, email Mike Hasse from NIU Athletic Communications. He can send that over to you. Thank you all for attending. Have a good day.